Jai Gurudev and Namaste. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. Lord Krishna's stories, especially those narrated in the Bhagwatam, are deeply cherished by devotees and scholars alike. Could you start by telling us about the significance of the Bhagwatam in Hindu philosophy and its portrayal of Lord Krishna? Jai Gurudev, Namaste. Thank you for having me. The Bhagwatam, specifically the Srimad Bhagwatam, is one of the most revered texts in Hinduism. It is a collection of stories primarily about Lord Vishnu, and it is especially dedicated to his incarnation as Lord Krishna. The text is composed by sage Vyasa and contains 18,000 verses spread across 12 books. The Bhagavatam beautifully narrates the divine exploits of Lord Krishna, beginning with his birth, childhood, and early miracles to his role as a supreme being who provides divine knowledge. The text is significant for many reasons. First, it emphasizes the importance of bhakti, or devotion, and satsang, company of the holy, showing that through devotion one can realize the ultimate truth. Krishna, as a central figure, represents the ideal of divine love, wisdom, and compassion. That's insightful. Could you walk us through some of the most significant stories of Lord Krishna from the Bhagavatam, particularly those that highlight his divine nature? Absolutely. There are many stories in the Bhagavatam that illustrate Lord Krishna's divine nature and his role in the lives of his devotees. One of the most celebrated stories is his childhood in Gokul, where he displayed various miraculous feats. For instance, when he was just a baby, he was able to lift the massive Govardhan hill to protect his devotees from a torrential downpour sent by Indra, the king of the heavens. This act not only displayed his immense strength, but also demonstrated his ability to protect his devotees from even the wrath of the gods. Yes, the story of Govardhan Hill is quite symbolic. What does the story represent in terms of divine protection and devotion? The lifting of Govardhan Hill is a profound symbolic act. It signifies that Lord Krishna, as the Supreme Being, can protect his devotees from any harm, regardless of the obstacles they face. It also reflects the concept of the Guru disciple relationship, where Krishna takes the role of the ultimate protector and guide. Devotees who place their faith in him are shielded from life's adversities. The story emphasizes humility as well, as Krishna took on the responsibility of sheltering all beings, not only humans but also animals, showing his universal compassion. That's a powerful message. Moving on, another major story from the Bhagavatam is Krishna's playful interactions with the gopis, particularly during the Ras Leela. Could you elaborate on this story and its significance in spiritual teachings? Jai Gurudev, the Ras Leela is indeed a deeply symbolic event, often described as the highest expression of divine love. It occurs during Krishna's youth in Vrindavan, where he dances with the gopis, who represent the soul's longing for union within the divine. This story is often interpreted not just as a playful dance, but as a spiritual metaphor for the soul's yearning to experience oneness with the Supreme. The gopis' unconditional love for Krishna signifies the highest form of devotion, where there is no expectation of anything in return. The Ras Leela shows that Krishna, despite being the supreme being, engages with his devotees in a deeply personal and loving way. This personal relationship with the divine, where God becomes a companion and a lover, is a central theme in the Bhagavatam. From a spiritual perspective, the Ras Leela can be seen as a representation of the intimate, divine relationship one can cultivate with God, one that transcends the material world. It teaches us about the purity of devotion and the joy that arises from selfless love for the divine. Such an inspiring narrative. Another striking episode from the Bhagavatam is Krishna's role in the Mahabharata. Could you discuss his teachings to Arjuna, especially the Bhagavad Gita, and the connection to the Bhagavatam? Krishna's teachings to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, which is a part of the Mahabharata, are crucial to understanding his divine wisdom. The Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna is confused and morally troubled about fighting in the war. Krishna's guidance is unparalleled, offering profound insights into life, duty, dharma, and the nature of the self. Krishna teaches Arjuna about the eternal nature of the soul, the importance of detachment from the results of actions, and the path of bhakti. He emphasizes that devotion to the Supreme is the highest path to liberation. In fact, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita reinforces the ideas presented in the Bhagavatam, where Krishna reveals himself not only as a protector of his devotees but also as the ultimate source of knowledge, wisdom, and power. Indeed, Krishna's wisdom is timeless. What do scholars and devotees say about the philosophical depth found in the Bhagavatam, especially regarding its portrayal of the divine? Scholars and spiritual leaders have often remarked that the Bhagavatam presents a holistic view of the divine, one that encompasses not just the transcendent cosmic aspects of God but also his immanent personal side. Krishna in the Bhagavatam is portrayed as both the supreme being and the loving friend, the destroyer of veil and the evil and the giver of wisdom. Research papers and texts by modern scholars emphasize the uniqueness of Krishna's portrayal in the Bhagavatam. Unlike in other scriptures where the divine is often distant or abstract, Krishna is presented here as approachable, interacting with his devotees on a personal level. This accessibility of God is what makes the Bhagavatam so beloved by millions of people worldwide. In terms of philosophical depth, the Bhagavatam also explores complex ideas like the nature of the universe, the dynamics of time, and the cycles of creation and destruction, all while staying true to the message of devotion and the path to liberation. It beautifully weaves together various themes from cosmology to ethics, showing the unity between the material and spiritual realms. Such depth is remarkable. How do modern day practices and rituals connected to Krishna's stories from the Bhagavatam help devotees in their spiritual journey? Modern day practices rooted in the teachings of the Bhagavatam continue to offer profound support for spiritual growth. Chanting Krishna's name, whether through the Hare Krishna mantra or other devotional hymns, connect the practitioner to Krishna's divine presence. The recitation of the Bhagavatam itself is considered a purifying activity that cleanses the mind and the heart, aligning the devotee with the divine wisdom. Devotees engage in rituals like Krishna Janmashtami, the celebration of Krishna's birth, and the recitation of the Bhagavatam during temple gatherings. These practices not only help keep the stories alive, but also deepen the connection to Krishna's teachings. They foster an atmosphere of devotion and reinforce the key spiritual lessons from the Bhagavatam, such as surrender, selfless love, and the pursuits of dharma. The stories of Krishna also serve as a source of inspiration, guiding devotees through life's challenges, much as they helped Arjuna on the battlefield. Devotees learn that by following the examples set by Krishna through devotion, right action, and inner wisdom, they too can overcome the difficulties in their own lives. The connection between the ancient teachings and modern day practices is truly powerful. Thank you for sharing such a comprehensive understanding of Lord Krishna's stories from the Bhagavatam. Is there any final thought you would like to share with our readers about Krishna and the importance of Bhagavatam in today's world? Thank you for the opportunity to share these insights. I would say that Lord Krishna's teachings in the Bhagavatam are timeless and remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago in the modern world, where many face uncertainty and confusion. Krishna's message of faith, compassion, and wisdom offers solace and guidance. The Bhagavatam invites us to look within and realize that the divine resides in all of us. Through devotion, we can find peace, purpose, and ultimately liberation. May we all continue to be inspired by Krishna's love and teachings. Thank you so much for your time and wisdom. It was truly an enriching experience. Thank you. It was my pleasure to share. My Krishna's grace be with you and those who seek his divine wisdom. Jai Gurudev.